When it comes to the topic of survival guns, there's a lot to pick from, but today I'm going to be explaining why I think a 22 long rifle, lever action rifle, is one you should have. How's it going, guys, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk. My name is Chad, and this is the Hopeful Homestead. You're out here right now with me at my little campsite next to my tiny cabin on wheels that I've parked out here on my family's property, a 21-acre piece of property out here in South Florida that we're going to be building our forever home on over the next 12 months. And part of becoming homesteaders is, prepping for the future, prepping for crap at the fan scenarios, and thinking about survival. And as many of you know, I've talked a lot in these coffee talks about survival topics and what kind of firearms you should have, and what kind of ammunition is best for survival. I've talked a lot about why I think 22 long rifle is the best cartridge for long-term crap at the fan scenarios, where ammo shortages and all that become a factor, because it's a lot easier, a lot cheaper, and a lot less space to stock up on 22 long rifle than it is anything else. Not to mention the fact that you can have any type of firearm, from any type of action to any type of semi-auto to single shot to lever action to revolvers to semi-auto pistols, rifles. 22 long rifle comes in any shape or form. And from a perspective of a survival, long-term survival scenario, something that's reliable and efficient is important, and is why I think you should consider a lever action rifle for long-term scenarios where you got to survive. This is my little 22 long rifle, lever action rifle. It is a Rossi Rio Bravo. It is empty, no rounds in here. But this little thing, part of the advantage of 22 long rifle, rifles is that they're cheap. You can, I got this used for only $100 or so, and it's all steel and wood with a little bit of aluminum and plastic, here and there. But for the most part, it's a pretty heavy duty, sturdy gun. You can get many different kinds of these for pretty affordable prices out there. So far, this thing has been great for me. I love plinking with it. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite rifles to just spend some time at the range with and have a good time shooting some steel. And ultimately, I would love to have several of these. I would love to have a fleet of like 10 lever actions and maybe 10 single action revolvers that are all reliable formats, that are simple to clean, that don't get gunked up and dirty real easily, because it's not a semi-auto gun that's relying on the gases and the pressure of the round to be able to actuate the action. It's a simple concept where you can clean these, you can take these apart and manage them pretty easily, and they just work. Same thing goes for revolvers. Very easy to clean and maintain, and they just work. I've talked a lot about on this channel why I love lever guns and revolvers, and in my opinion, for a long-term crap at the fan survival scenario, having several of these 22 long rifle lever action guns, lever guns, would be really advantageous. You can hunt with these. You can, have pest control. You can defend your property. You can defend your family with them. There's no recoil in a rifle format for a 22 long rifle, so you can quickly put several rounds on target without having to worry about recoil management. And if you've done your due diligence and you've stockpiled ammunition and stockpiled, thousands and thousands of rounds of 22 long rifle, then those weapons, those 22 caliber weapons you have, will be actually useful to you in the long-term crap in the van scenario. All of my 45, Colt revolvers and lever guns are great, and those are obviously what I grab first in a true self-defense scenario out here. But I'm realistic in knowing that I'm not going to be able to stockpile huge amounts of 45 Colt for a survival scenario. Yes, if a crap at the fan scenario happens, I'm turning to my 45s and my other, bigger caliber guns first, but I'll run out of ammunition very quickly. And then all I'll have left is my stockpile of 22 and all the guns that can fire that 22 ammo. And that's why I think it's important to have several lever action guns, because it is just real easy. You can, especially with 22, you can really fire quickly and put repeat rounds on target very easily with something like this, to where you can, if you practice, become pretty proficient with it and actually become almost as fast as a semi-auto gun as far as putting accurate rounds on target and not just spraying and praying. You can put almost just as much rounds on target with this as you can a semi-auto rifle with practice. And the trade-off being that this will be much more reliable long-term, because it's going to be easy to clean and it won't break down on you as easily as something that relies on the gases from the round to actually actuate the action. But I think that's going to be it for today's video. Just wanted to point out specifically why I thought 22 long rifle lever action guns are, something you should consider having, not for one being something that's fun to plink with, but something that really would be useful in a survival scenario, having one of these, or having several of these, honestly, to where you really would never have to worry about not being without a firearm for protection for your family. because you've got 10 of these that cost nothing to buy, and you got thousands and thousands of rounds of 22 long rifle that cost almost nothing to buy. You know, it's better to have something than to run out and have nothing. So again, my name is Chad, this is the Hopeful Homestead, and if you feel like sticking around, I got a video right here for you all about how I plan to stockpile 1 million rounds of 22 long rifle over the next several years. But I appreciate you being here, guys. Click on that and I'll see you over in that video. Thanks for watching.